All right, good morning. This is Heritage Builders. We are out here at Lot 36 in Mustang Ridge. As you can see, our project here is really beginning to move along. The stick framing is coming along very nicely. You can see the roof line is up, all the walls are up, exterior walls. We've got some beams there to just kind of hold things in place as we begin the process of finishing up ceiling joists and stuff like that. Out towards the back, you can see the work shed is also going through the rough framing process. I've got Darren Freeman here with me, Heritage Builders. He's going to take us on a little tour here to show us how things are progressing along. So come back to us in just a second. All right, so here we are up closer to the home. Darren, if you wouldn't mind, take us through what's the stage of this house right now.
All right, Elliot, I'd be happy to. We're in the framing stage, and actually the second portion of the framing stage. First portion is walls. Get all our walls up. Then we come to the ceiling joists. So if you look up there, the engineer has spec'd out TGI ceiling joists that'll run the full length of the garage. So they're designed to support all the weight for this full span of the garage, for the full depth of it.
Yeah.
And the second stage that we're talking about, if we back up just a little bit.
Sure. Got some supplies here we got to watch out for.
All the rooms have the ceiling joist already installed in them, and now we're starting the roof.
Okay.
So we've got, you can see they're starting to, they got the skeleton of the roof done. So now we're just going to fill in all the gaps in between it with all these the rafters that you're seeing being stood right now. You notice the TGI beam going across the garage, very heavy. We don't want any anything to move there. So that's
right.
a big long span. So we use a very heavy beam across that.
Now, how thick is that beam?
Well, it's 3.5 inches.
Okay.
And the depth, it's a 16 to 18. Without my measurement, it looks like about a 16 incher.
Okay.
It's all spec'd out by the engineer.
And what's the load that would bear?
Elliot, I'd have to go to the books on that one.
Is that right?
I certainly would.
Because that looks like that would bear a lot of weight.
It will bear a lot.
That's
it
a big
have
old.
a lot of weight on it. The roof itself is not really required to put that much weight on that, but it's just the span itself. You know, it's an 18-foot garage door, so that's a long, wide span. So we just want to make sure that maintains straight and level through the life of the home.
Now, if I recall, for some reason I was under the impression standard garage doors somewhere around 16 feet wide. So is this an oversized garage?
This is slightly oversized garage. We like to build them a little bit larger. People have a little more room to get in and out. They can get two vehicles in the garage more comfortably. We make them slightly deeper, so we want to have walking room around the vehicle. And also we made this garage slightly wider than a typical garage. So if you see right here, you got a walk door, so you don't have to open your main garage door up every time just to walk in and out of your garage.
I see right there. Right, yeah. And I would assume that would probably be a nice heavy steel door or something like that, insulated door.
It will be a fully insulated metal door. It'll be an exterior door. Something else I'd like to point out, Elliot, is we look at these base plates right here.
Those are 6 inches in width right there.
Those are all 2x6 walls. Anywhere you see a plumbing wall, like this wall right here, this is in the kitchen, and you'll see this is another 2x6 wall. We do that for all of our plumbing walls. And we can walk in here and we can point out a few more of those plumbing walls.
I would assume that going with 2x6, what that does is helps keep the walls nice and sturdy, because you figure plumbing's probably going to go behind those walls someplace. You may have to compromise those 2x6s, I would guess, for pipes and whatnot. Or
the plumbing goes in the wall, and for instance, you got a 3.5 inch pipe right over here.
Okay.
And if you just have a 2x4 wall, the 2x4 wall just barely covers that pipe. So that means that pipe's right up against your sheetrock on both sides. And we don't like that. We like to have a little bit of flexibility in there. When you hook an adapter onto this pipe to run this pipe on up because it's a vent line.
Yep.
Now you're pushing on the sheetrock, and I don't like that. We want a nice smooth surface on the sheetrock.
Got it. Got it. I see. So of course, any other walls, for example, that must be the shower right there.
This is a shower.
Yeah.
It's fine. 2x4 walls are fine in the shower, but just where your major vent and drains are is where we want the 2x6 walls.
Got it. Okay, what else do you have in here that you can show us?
Well, we can take a look at the headers. You notice our headers are all double 2x12.
Yeah.
A lot of companies like to use just one 2x12 in them, just to save some money and some lumber and material. I don't like that. I like to go ahead and make them double.
Yep.
Just a much stouter, much stronger surface.
Mm-hmm.
And it also allows you to, if you want some curtains above your windows, you have a place to fasten your curtain rods.
Right. Right. That makes sense. Well, I'll tell you, these walls look real solid. That's for sure. I don't see a lot of warped 2x4s in here either.
No, we're extremely picky on that. This particular house is about average. We sent back about 60% of the studs that came to this job. So we go through the pile, we pull out the best and the straightest ones. The rest of them go back. They bring us more. We go through that pile again. So all the studs that go in here are not, there's no twist in them, there's no bow in them, there's no bend in them, because you have a lot of moisture in this material anyway. So even when we use the very straightest ones, when they start drying, they can start twisting and things. But if we put them in place and they're nice and straight, the chances of them staying nice and straight and pretty are much greater.
Got it.
So we definitely don't like to use any crooked lumber or any damaged lumber.
Makes sense. Yeah, because I'm looking at these pieces that are in here, man. I'll tell you that really is fine choice wood. All right, so this must be a doorway that's leading out onto the back patio.
This goes to the back patio. Walk right on out here.
And out.
Nice big patio. We've got a double set of French doors going in right here. And of course we've got 3 big picture windows. And this little guy right here is for a doggy door. So they've got this particular customers have a couple small dogs, and we said, well, this just, instead of leaving the door open for them or having to open and close the door, we're going to go ahead and put a doggy door in for their puppies.
Well, that's really cool.
And it's all nice and insulated and sealed, and they even got a door up that they can close it so that the dogs can't go back and forth when they want to.
Got it.
And then over here, well, you see this right here?
Yep.
This is where we'll run the wiring in for their floor outlets that we put in here in the living room.
Ah, okay. Oh, that's right. If you folks recall, when our master electrician was out here, he was showing us the installation of that before we poured. So now you can see how that's all lined up like that. Now you can begin to imagine that couch that's going to be in between those 2 floor outlets as they set up their end tables watching TV over the fireplace, which is over there a little bit. Now before we go back inside, Darren, I noticed you get some plumbing right over here on the corner of this patio. What are your plans for that?
That's for an outdoor grill. So, and we'll have gas out here also. We'll run the gas line through the walls. This is the plumbing, the water, and the drain for a sink, so that they'd like an outdoor kitchen sink out here. So we did all this in the concrete. It's when you have to do it is before you pour concrete.
Right.
And so they'll be building a nice little outdoor kitchen here in the future.
Got it. So that would be really nice. So presumably that'll all match the stonework and all that other stuff, similar to that other project we were working on at that other customer site.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's great. So let's come on in. You can see here is some more of that wiring we were talking about before. So this wiring is basically where the island is going to go. We're standing in the kitchen right now, so you can kind of get a feel for the size of the kitchen as I back up into the dining area. So
this is a little bit different. This customer wanted the cook stove in here. She wants an electric cook stove. And so we run 2 1-inch tubes in here because we need power in here for the cook stove.
Yep.
And we also need power in here for the coated outlets that are going to be in the island itself.
Got it.
And then we have a dishwasher and we have a garbage disposer if there was a sink here, but there's no sink here. So we don't have water running through here. I guess that's my point.
Okay.
Normally you'll see water running in here also.
Okay.
So this is all electric.
Yep.
That's all we need in here is power.
Got it. Yeah, that must be the pantry in the corner.
Yes, this is the pantry.
Now I see you got more plumbing in this wall here too. What's up with this plumbing?
Yeah, this is a vent line. So this is just a standard vent line, and this is a powder bath.
Got it. Okay.
So that's where the toilet will sit right there.
Yeah. All right. Now I know they mentioned they've got a fireplace planned in this. Here's our. You just pardon all the lumber. You can see here. Darren was mentioning earlier that they're in the process of getting all of the cross beams all established. So right now we're using this loose lumber just to keep all of that properly supported until everything's finally all nailed down. Eventually this will all come out. But behind all of that, you can see here, that is where the fireplace is going to go. So is this going to be a full floor to ceiling, or is that a half height, or how? What are the plans for that fireplace?
This fireplace, they do have an option to go all the way to the ceiling. It's a little hard because there's so much lumber up there right now that's not put in place. It goes all the way up to the vaulted ceiling. Their fireplace is going to stop at the 5'6" mark, I believe this one is, and they're going to mount a TV, a large screen TV above it.
Got it. Okay. And here you can get a better view of the picture windows that they're putting in right here. Okay. Now, is this the typical height that you go with picture windows, or can you go floor to ceiling? What do you do with picture windows?
That's depends on what the customer wants. We can absolutely go to the floor. These are 3x6 windows. You can go to the floor with them. Once you hit 12 inches or lower, then they all have to be coated and forget the verbiage. They have to be tempered. So
tempered. Oh, tempered glass, so that it doesn't necessarily.
Tempered glass once you get within a foot of
Got
the floor.
it. Okay.
And so, yep. And this one, actually, this one here, yeah. This will be non-tempered, but yep. We can go all the way. We can go solid glass panels in here. We can do sliders in here. Many different options.
All right. Now, are there any other features that we can point out at this particular point in time, or the rest of this is pretty standard? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, really, Elliot, it's pretty standard. I mean, you've seen the 4 outlets.
Yep.
And we've got a Jack and Jill back here. I know there's so much lumber in the road, it's really difficult to see it all right now.
Sure.
All this bracing. This bracing is required to stay on here. This is what's keeping all the walls level.
Okay.
And everything square without twisted.
Right.
Once the roof goes on, then that locks everything in place. So once
Okay.
the roof sheeting goes on, then we can remove all this bracing.
Got it. So we'll probably see that happen when you think.
They'll probably be 3 to 4 days from now.
So this is going to go up real quick.
Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic. All right, well, that's the quick tour of where we are right now here on Lot 36. We will be back again. As Darren mentioned, we'll probably see the roof starting to go up, so we'll come back out here, bring you folks out there this way at that time. So in the meantime, please remember to like our videos and click subscribe down the below section, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks for stopping by.